Hello, this is Jared playing Oxygen Not Included, and I'd like to share and update this setup that I have. Essentially, I want to stop the pipes from breaking, from freezing water. Also want to stop any water that's dropped off here in the pump from freezing, so I want the pump to be able to go the whole time. And to do that, I had this set up. It's a liquid reservoir, essentially in a vacuum, which is really going to protect this from freezing. And then when it leaves this, it's going to go through insulated pipes and go, in this case, towards a few electrolyzers. And I've got this automation wire to control whether or not we need any more water. It works, but John actually had made a comment in the last video that this actually might be over-engineered, especially for early on. So we're going to look at an easier setup without the need of creating a vacuum. So here's the simplified setup. It's pretty much just a liquid reservoir, but sitting on airflow tiles. Actually, John mentions insulated tiles, so we're going to look at that in a moment. But I just put airflow tiles because I haven't researched that yet. Just want to make it easiest, simplest setup. So we just have this pump that's able to send it into here and out. With a setting of 50-50 and two little pieces of automation wire, we're able to stop the dupes from loading in more water, such that we've got any backed up here and freezing. This door here is just an escape route in case that door shuts on any dupes. So as I mentioned, John had mentioned insulated tiles. Airflow tiles works well, but I thought I'd do a little experiment on different types of tiles that this liquid reservoir sits on, because some are good and some are not. Here's the test I'm running today. So we've got a number of liquid reservoirs. They're all sitting on different types of tiling. We've got granite tiles, igneous tiles. We've got airflow tiles, which I was using earlier. Insulated tiles, both granite and igneous. And wood tiles. And just for fun, it's probably a terrible idea, but there's also snow tiles. I've loaded liquid that is 20 degrees above freezing, so I'm going to let that sit for a cycle or so, and we'll see what the change is. We've made it to the start of cycle 5. Let's have a look. So 100 kilograms of water in each of these. We've gone down to 15.6. 15.4. Actually, surprised that igneous rock is formed slightly less well, though pretty much the same. With airflow tiles, it's much better. We have saved a drop of temperature of quite a bit. We have dropped a little bit, though. The insulated tiles doesn't really seem to matter. In this case, the granite actually performs slightly better, which I wasn't expecting. And then with wood tiles, not that great, but it is better than just normal tiling. And I thought just for the heck of it, we'd do a test with snow. Snow 16, which actually is better than the tiles here. My only concern is when these eventually melt, your liquid reservoir isn't going to melt. So there it is. This is, it does actually allow cooling, but in the general setup, if you're continuing to add more water, it's probably not going to be a problem. And to be honest, even regular tiles would probably be fine, but if you've got airflow tiles or insulated, you might as well use those sitting on a liquid reservoir. Regardless of what type of material you put under the liquid reservoir, I do highly recommend you put automation wire right here, because that's going to make your life much easier. You don't have to manually control these. And as soon as this gets up to a 50%, this door is going to shut. So here I'm demonstrating what happens when we go over half. Door shuts, no one is able to add any more. Some blocking access on both these doors. I'll finish off today saying there still is a use case for having a liquid reservoir like this in a vacuum. And the two cases that I can think of is, one, if you're not going to drain the liquid for a very long time, that would be a useful case. In the case where we have it sitting next to this, it's probably going to be consumed quite easily in either washrooms or electrolyzers and that. The other case is if the temperature differential is a lot greater. So in this case, I'm actually storing liquid that is near boiling temperature. Actually, just below that. We're going to let that sit for a little bit, and we'll see if that's going to change as a cycle or two goes by. And after more than a cycle, there has been no change to the temperature that's in this water. So this system does work really, really well. The question is, do you actually need the setup? Probably not early on, only if you're doing some specialty things. I will note here, though, it is really nice that this temperature doesn't transfer to the liquid reservoir because I don't have that made out of gold amalgam or steel. It would break beyond 75 degrees, but it stays an outside temperature such that the machinery doesn't break, but the inside liquid stays as it is. Alright, well, that's all I've got for today. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I will see you next time.